3, 2, 1. So we live right now. We got Dan the Man Boxing here, and we're gonna cover all the topics in boxing that you guys need to know. So buckle up, baby. Yeah, me and Dan are gonna get into it. So Dan, how you doing, bro? First and foremost.
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just trying to get through the storm for today, by that matter.
So Dan, let me ask you a question. Yeah. So the breaking news right now, right, is that Paulie Malignaggi has been fired from Showtime. Give us your take on that, bro, man?
Uh, my take on that is that I think it was something that I believe that Paulie had coming for a while now because he has. This is not the first time he's made controversial statements. I know from the understanding what he made, one of the comments that got his ass in the hot seat with Showtime is that he gave an interview. I think it was on IFL TV, I believe, and he said that there is no oppression amongst blacks in 2020, or there's no have been oppression amongst blacks in the last 100 years, or something to that effect. Mm-hmm. Of course, that's like the WTF moment, like what the fuck, dude. And then when Showtime got the word of that, they gave Paulie a chance to retract those statements and say, hey, look, this doesn't look good. You can't come out and say that there's no oppression going on, given the fact that there's still there's civil unrest situations here in the United States. There's still protests that are happening. Mm-hmm. There's still black people being, targeted by officers. You know what I mean? Particularly, more recently, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. Mm-hmm. And you can't sit there, come out and say that shit. And then you go back to the recent comments he made about Ahmaud Arbery. That doesn't fly well either. So you can't come out and say that shit knowing that, what you said is false. Mm-hmm. So they gave him a chance to retract, and he refused to retract because he felt whatever he said was bear fruit, as you want to call it. Mm-hmm. He's not going to, he doesn't apologize for what he says. And Paulie is an unapologetic type of guy. He's not, he's one of those guys which got him respect over the years. He's one of those guys that will say what he feels and how he feels about it, and he doesn't have no remorse for what he says. But at some point, sometime, it's going to catch up to you. And Jim Gray had kind of alluded to this shit several years ago when he fought Adrian Broner in a controversial fight. Some people thought he won, some people thought he lost. Mm-hmm. He got pissed off, and then he tried to out Heyman publicly in that post-fight interview, saying that judge is an Al Heyman guy. That's the reason why I didn't get the decision, this, that, the third. Then Jim Gray pretty much interrupted him and saying, hey, look, man, I understand you're an outspoken guy, but at some point, sometimes you got to realize, are you continue to bite the hand that feeds you? And then Paulie kind of got quiet real quick when Jim Gray approached him with that. He said, look, I'm not saying I got robbed. I'm like, no, Paulie. You just said you got robbed. Mm-hmm. Now you just completely did a 180 within 2 seconds when Jim Gray kind of reminded you, don't bite the hand that feeds you now. Mm-hmm. Don't do that. Mm-hmm. And that's what just happened. He bit the hand that feed him way too long. And just caught up with him. And Showtime was willing to give him an opportunity to retract what he says because they view him as a valuable asset. And then he said, no, I'm not going to retract myself. So I think he kind of felt he was Mr. Untouchable. Now also given the fact that he's a Trump supporter, that doesn't suit well either. So, but like I said, though, I have no remorse for Paulie Malignaggi. I'm no remorse. I have no sympathy for him, I should say.
Yeah.
And for you had this coming for a long time, bro. And for you to come out saying that there's no oppression amongst blacks for the last 100 years, or you don't see oppression happening in 2020, nah, man, that shit doesn't fly. Nah, it doesn't fly, bro. You gotta go. If you don't retract those statements, I don't think Showtime shouldn't even offer him to retract.
Yeah,
They should have let it go after. Given the fact that he's made some past comments, that's kind of similar to that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't fucking do that shit, man.
He proud of what he said though. Let me see. I got the volume. Yeah, I think he's proud. I think he's proud of what he said, and I think the people around him are like, "Yo, Paulie, man, yo, don't be bending to these people, man. Yo, said what you said, and that's what he is. So, yo, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out on my stick. Ain't nothing about that. Like, I'm happy." In a way like that, you talking, Paulie gonna speak his mind, but that shit was wrong. You know what I mean? And you gonna get, you rightly so in this climate, you need to get checked. Any racism towards anything, people need to get checked, bro. Like, yeah, you're a good commentator, he's a good boxer, but bro, you going left, man. You way left, and like you need to get checked. And even though they said it's Sky Sports, he's still got a contract with Sky Sports. He's still gonna get paid for the duration of his contract We don't need to hear that bullshit. I think also in the last fight with Wilder, I think Wilder had a problem as well. Wilder thought it was too biased. I didn't think it was biased. Was you? Well, what was the comments in that? They were criticizing Wilder. Wilder didn't like him or something like that. Wilder and Paulie had a comment. So that's nothing as well.
Yeah. I mean, to me, look, I'm gonna say this about that situation. I think Deontay, kind of got carried away with that at that time with Paul and Malignaggi about the comments he made about him. I mean, Paulie was just being objective. I mean, I'm gonna give Paulie the benefit of the doubt in that particular situation. But when you go left field with the social issues, that's I got a problem with.
Mm.
I got a huge problem with that. You know what I mean? And the fact that you've been getting away with this shit for so long, it got to the point that enough is enough, man.
Yeah.
You gotta go. You gotta at some point in your life, you're gonna have to suffer the repercussions, the consequences for your actions.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, given the fact that he got fired, Showtime's gonna pay out the remainder, the remaining dollars of his contract because he's still under contract, so he's got to sit it out.
Mm.
But I think he's gonna have. He pretty much realizes that I still have another job with Sky Sports, but at some point, sometime, I gotta kind of be careful what I gotta say now because my mouth is gonna continue to get me in trouble, and that's exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah.
So will he learn a lesson from this? I doubt it, because like I say, he's an outspoken guy. He doesn't pull back any punches. He's not afraid to say what he wants to say.
Yeah.
And if like again, go back to the Jim Gray interview where after the Adrian Broner fight, you can't continue to bite the hand that feeds you, bro. I'm not saying you shouldn't speak out. I know a lot of guys gonna call and say, "Well, you tell him that he should say how he feels." I was like, "No, it's not. That's it. It's just the way you say it is the problem."
Yeah, 100%.
That's the problem.
Yeah, 100%. So, Paulie, get the hell out of here already. So, yo, big up to the people in the chat. Big up my man Smoke. Big up, was it Noobski 1978? And yeah, big up Smoke, man. You guys keep pumping. Me and Dan holding it down. So, all right, next news we're gonna talk straight in. Teofimo Lopez have rejected 1.2 million to fight Vasily Lomachenko. Your thoughts, Dan?
Well, all I gotta say is that disappointing. That doesn't mean the fight is off. It means it's in jeopardy. So it's kind of like Golovkin rejecting a flat fee offer to Canelo when they got the fight, when they were negotiating, for their first fight, but they ultimately, reneged the offer, and then, Canelo got what he wanted. The same thing with the second fight, where he wanted to renege his offer, given the fact that Canelo failed the drug test, this, that, the third. Okay, fine. But I just think if you look at it in one perspective, right? It's like, look, Teofimo Lopez, he's coming off a win against Richard Coleman, which is a good win because it was something that was unexpected. He knocked out a guy who was booked as a very big puncher at 135, and he knocked him out in 2 rounds. So he left that fight unscathed. So and he got his belt, yes. But you got to look at it in one perspective. It's like, look, man, you're a new champion. You just come off a good win, yes. The same guy that many people accuse Lomachenko for ducking. But the fact is that you haven't really done much compared to Lomachenko. I'm not saying Lomachenko is a big office draw. No, he's not. But he's put in more work than you. And he's a guy who's be able to dictate the terms. So you got to respect that. Maybe he does respect that. I'm just trying to look at it 2 different angles. Maybe it's a situation where Lomachenko came at him and said, "Hey, look, you'll get this other certain amount of dollars on your contract if you beat me." So we all know about Lomachenko and his political bullshit about these "if you beat me" clauses. The same shit he did to Riga now, the same shit he did to Nicholas Walters. So it's like, so I'm not sure if this is what's in play right now, because let's not forget now that Lomachenko and his team has been playing games in this negotiation process before and after the pandemic. So we don't know the entire story why he rejected the offer. Should he have taken it? Yes, because it's more money he's ever made. Get the fight over with. But that doesn't mean the fight is off. It just means that he's rejected the initial offer, and they're gonna have to go back and renegotiate and give him something that's satisfying to him.
All right, how much you reckon he should get though, bro? How much go ahead.
Now, I think $2.2 million is fair to me, unless, again, what are the strings attached to that? Because, again, Lomachenko his team has been doing this shit for a long time now with opponents. They set a purse offering for certain fighters, like Salido, for example, when they try to rematch him. They say, okay, we'll give you these dollars, but there are strings attached. Again, it goes back to if you beat me clauses. And that's the reason why Salio had to back out of that rematch, because they were trying to get him in an unvulnerable situation, not give him time to prepare, this, that, and the third. So I don't know what the situation is. Maybe it's a situation where they told him, we'll give you 1.2 million, but we want to push the fight ahead of schedule. We don't want to wait till October. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. I'm just saying, though, I think if anything, if this is just a monetary dispute, just give him an extra, I don't know, just give him an extra 300 grand. I mean, make it 1.5 million. Make it close to 2 million. I think he'll be satisfied with that.
I think I don't think he's cashing out. I think like the reason why, like, real talk, like to me, Tio ain't done shit, bro. He exciting, he done backflips. Yeah, he knocked out Cormier, but bro, you ain't done that. Lomo is done all the heavy lifting thus far,
right.
And like I think, bro, like it's like, yo, if I take this year, I go after taxes, pay my dad, pay my promoter, bro. I ain't even breaking a million. So he's like, bro, like I need more money, like, and we're gonna talk about Gary Russell in a minute, but he's like, I need more. I'm like, yo, bro, like you ain't done nothing, bro. Like, yeah, you IBF champion, but this the thing is, the guys need to understand, right? If you believe you're gonna win with the 1.something million, you take the fight, you beat Lomo's ass, and you nice, bro. You a legend. You in that. I don't think the fact that he's rejecting the offer, and maybe Nicholas Waters, and go back to Nicholas Waters, right? Let's look at that. Nicholas Waters got offer, and they rejected the first offer. Same thing, and then he got sat. What Bob Arum did, then sat him down for a year. Then he forced to take it. But the initial first offer, he didn't take it because he just come off the Donaire win, and Donaire was like, the guy at the time. I know that. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's Papa Bounds out, but Donaire was still, he had a name, right? And Nicholas was feeling himself. I feel Tio's feeling himself, thinking, wow, is that it? I should get more. Like, I'm like, yo, bro, like you bro, like you ain't done nothing. Like Lomo is legit the A side. He brings in the cachet in terms of all that, the stuff that he's bringing, and you trying to knock off a legend. Real, take the money, get the fight on. I don't hear no bullshit and crack on. I just don't think that these guys they're outpricing us. If this is true about 1.2 mil, I think 1.2 mil, I think that's fair. I think like real talk, I think that's fair.
I agree that's fair. I agree that's fair because I thought the Golovkin, look, the flat fee, I know some people say you can't compare the Golovkin situation to this one because Golovkin was offered a flat fee with no percentages on top of that. I get all that, but at the same time, Golovkin was offered way more money than he's ever made in his career. At that point, he was earning 1.2 million, and then or 2 million, 3 million the most, and then 5 million when he fought Gil Brook. And then Golovkin, it was offered an extra $10 to $12 million to take the Canelo fight initially with no catchweights involved. At the weight, he rejected it. But a lot of people say he had the right to reject this. So it's kind of a double standard for people to come out and criticize Teofimo Lopez. Again, it goes back to the fact that we need to find more details about it. But at the same time, do I think he should have taken it? Yes. But he's got to come out and say, well, okay, this is the reason why I reject the money. That way we have a better understanding. At least with Golovkin, we got an understanding why he rejected the money the first time when he was offered the Canelo fight. But that doesn't mean that the fight was called off. They just have to install the negotiations and renegotiate the offer, just like they did the first fight, just like they did the second fight. So I don't think the fight is off because a lot of people say, oh, the fight is off with Lobo and with Teofimo Lopez. No, that's not it. I just think it's still in the works. It's still scheduled penciled in for October 3rd. But unless Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko could come to an agreement sooner rather than later, then we'll be fine. I think they're going to come back and renegotiate because back to your point, if they don't come to terms pretty soon, what I'm afraid will happen is that Bob Arum was going to sack Teofimo Lopez just like he did Nicholas Walters for a whole year.
Yeah, sit him down for a year. Yeah, punish him, sitting down for a year. To be fair, he's been sitting down for a minute. Lomo needs the rest because he's been working so hard. So I think Lomo,
he's been injured a lot too.
Yeah,
he's coming off shoulder surgery.
Yeah,
that's usually that's typical what happens to to athletic fighters because Lomachenko is a great boxer, but he's also very athletic too.
Yeah,
and guys like him, Ward, Wilder, those are guys who are very athletic type of guys, and they're usually more injured prone than most textbook fighters. So the shoulder injury, And plus, Lomachenko hasn't really been too stellar at 135. And I think this is a very winnable fight for Teofimo Lopez. Very winnable fight.
Yeah. Well,
it goes back to your point. I think he should take the 2.2 million.
Yeah.
It's the same. So he's got to come out with a full explanation of what's going on. Maybe I have every reason to believe it's one of those "if you beat me" clauses that Lomachenko put into his contract with him. If you don't have a reason to believe that's what it is.
I'll tell you what, if you don't take it, like let Haney or someone else roll up. So let's get into Gary Russell and that bullshit. I say Gary Russell out here talking greasy. He's talking greasy to Crawford. He's talking greasy to Devin Haney's dad, Bill Haney. That's the one I caught up on, and I was like, yo, he's on that bull again. I don't know how much meals he's asking for, but I was over listening on Fred's channel. He said to be honest, the money was fair, and Bill Haney didn't get back to him. And I was like, he probably didn't get back to him because you probably priced yourself out, bro. Like if you ask for, I'm feeling he asked for like 5 mil. And like I was just the B-Mars, people was like, he deserves it. Like, I ain't even got that. No, they've not got the DAZN money over there, so they could afford it. But I'm like, yo, bruh, Devin Haney's just started his career. You've been a world champ for time. You're looking to cash out and trying to get some of that DAZN money. That's what this is about, right? And then you're like, okay, so you try it on Devin Haney, Bill Haney come down and pull it on you, and you kind of cool. Then it ain't good enough for you. You jumping on Crawford, a fight you have a Crawford in the amateurs. I mean, what's with this guy, Dan? I mean, what's with this guy, bro? Like Gary Russell, man.
Look. I respect. I really like Gary Russell Jr., but he kind of put himself in a situation, and no disrespect. And the reason why I say that is because he's the one that came out and said years ago that after beating Johnny Gonzalez, I intend to only be fighting once a year. I'm not trying to be active. That's what he said. Mm-hmm. And now, since you made those comments, you kind of seen those repercussions for those comments, those consequences for saying that, because you're not trying to be active like most other young champions are. You're only trying to take one fight a year. And then all of a sudden, this is what's coming to you. You've been begging and crawling for that. I mean, it's nothing wrong with begging. You've been trying to get that Santa Cruz fight for a long while now. And now you didn't get that fight. You're pretty much, scored over that, which, maybe you rightfully should be, because Gervonta Davis has got that fight now for a pay-per-view, by the way. And the fact is that I have every reason to believe that given his stance and his attitude towards fight once a year, is kind of somewhat almost compromise him in a financial way. This is just me speculating. I'm not sure. But fighting once a year is not, especially Gary Russell Jr., he's in a division where he's not really he's not making $1 million purses. Let's be real. He's not. Okay? And you fight once a year, and depending on his lifestyle and his expenses, that's not going to get you by. So I think right now he's really, really trying to get a big fight going. And it is to his own detriment, in my view, why he's in this position. For him to come out and slander Santa Cruz when he went forward to go after his father, I think that was out of his line right there. Yeah. I think that Russell kind of got blocked. That's probably why he didn't get that Santa Cruz fight, because he kind of got blackballed for that right there in a way. Yeah. You know what I mean? For that little stuff that he pulled right there. And then for him to come out and challenge Crawford, talking about I broke your jaw. I mean, I know this happened in the amateurs, but this was the amateurs, though. How many years ago was this? This is about nearly a decade ago, bro. Yeah. Terrence Crawford is a much better fighter than he was many years ago. He's a much bigger man. The man rehydrates close to 170 plus pounds outside the ring. And he's faster, he's stronger, obviously, and he's got quicker reflexes than you, in my view. So I mean, well, that's debatable, but at the same time, I wouldn't test that waters if I'm Gary Russell Jr. Let's be real, because he's a very small featherweight. He's not that big. He's a small featherweight. And for him to, try to challenge Devin Haney's a big lightweight. So if Gary Russell's going to go up to lightweight, I don't see him winning that fight. He's fighting a tall, rangier, and much more athletic guy. So if he were to make that fight, but to your point, I think his attitude is towards that I need to find a big fight, or I need to find it quick, because my resources are kind of running a bit dry. Given the fact we're in the middle of a pandemic, that's the attitude I'm getting from Gary Russell.
100%.
This is my view.
No, 100%. All right, other topics, yo. You guys keep getting in the chat. Appreciate all your cards. What you got over here? Lomo is an old 32, and with all amateur boxing, all the boxing amateur. I agree. He been fighting for a bit. We're gonna talk some Canelo right now, because my man's got it in there. The DAZN Canelo need to break ties and relationship. It didn't work. I agreed. Everyone needs to leave them the DAZN. The DAZN's a sinking ship. Everyone needs to get back on network TV. Go to the American networks, whether it's ESPN or it's Showtime or the PVC. Like, leave the zone European thing alone. It ain't working. I agree with that. But we're gonna talk about Canelo. So Benavidez has come out and said, I've got the WBC belt. What Canelo wants. Dan, what do you think about that potential fight, but Benavidez versus Canelo? Like, how you see that fight going? Go ahead.
Oh boy, I mean, that's a dangerous fight for Canelo because Benavidez is a very big middleweight, very big, and he's very long and he's very tall. He's tall, he's big in my. I mean, well, Kovalev is an actually bigger guy width wise, but tall and rangy. Yeah, he's much rangier and taller than Golovkin. I mean, not Golovkin, than Kovalev. And Kovalev, at the time when Canelo fought him, was way at the end of his career, obviously. He's been banged up. He's been beat up in fights. He's been through wars. He's been knocked out a couple times already going into that fight. So this is a completely different fight if Canelo fights this guy. This is a guy who's young, who's fresh, he's hungry. He's in his prime. So I don't see – I mean, I'm not saying Canelo cannot win that fight, but it's a dangerous fight for Canelo. Very dangerous fight. So, if anything, if I were to edge the scales, I'd probably edge it to Benavidez. Based off the fact that he is much more fresh, he's hungrier, and he's got more youth on his side. He's a naturally stronger man.
It's a good fight, though.
It's a good fight that he's in his prime. So, yeah, I don't see Canelo approaching Benavidez anytime soon.
I think if they have to fight, some rehydration clause in there.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be implemented. That's no question about it. There's gonna be rehydration.
Yeah, I think Canelo beats him, man. I know Benavidez wants to fight. It'll be his biggest payday, but I think Canelo beats him. Like he got too much for him. He's short, squat, and he hits hard. I mean, he beat Kovalev coming down. I think 168 is good for him. And he's right. The WBC belt is right there. Like Benavidez, he ain't done nothing. I mean, who's he beat at 168?
Well, he hasn't really. I mean, his best wins is against what's the TMT fighter, Ronald? Not Ronald Quinlan. What's the other guy?
Jadon Love. Jadon Love. Is it Jadon Love?
No, not Jadon Love. The other guy that took Benavidez. It was for the vacant title. He fought the first fight, and he knocked down Benavidez in the last round. But Benavidez got the split decision. But they had the rematch. And Benavidez did a better job in the rematch. But I would say his best one on his record thus far is against Anthony Durrell.
Yeah. But he just, man, them guys. There's a lot of guys out here. They want the payday, they want it, but they ain't doing nothing. Like I know, okay, the Corona thing is there. Yeah, there's Gilbert Ramirez. He just quiet. I don't know where he is.
Gilbert Ramirez ain't done nothing since the Arthur Abraham fight. I mean, come on, man. Yeah. Arthur Abraham and then Jesse Hart. Come on, man.
Yeah.
What is Gilberto Ramirez doing? I know he's no longer with Top Rank. I get that, but
ain't doing
other
nothing.
Than that,
ain't doing nothing.
He's not doing nothing, man. I mean, who's he signed to now? Is he signed to DAZN?
I don't know.
Ramirez, or is he a free agent right now?
I don't know. James Ago never wanted to fight him. I mean, James Ago was hot in the division, and like he done lost against Caleb. Is it Caleb Truax or whatever his name? No.
Yeah, James not playing Truax.
Yeah. Plant ain't doing nothing either. Plant's just like he just defending that belt once a year. I think we're in an era, Dan, of guys just happy, just defending their belt, getting a bit of change, and they ain't trying to go for greatness. Like that used to be.
Well, you want to talk about a stagnant division? I agree with that. We're in the era. The super middleweights, in my view, is a stagnant division right now because there's nobody there. Ever since Froch, Ward, Kessler, Abraham, to an extent, ever since those guys and DeGale and Jack, ever since they left that division, it's been very stale.
100%, man.
It's stale. It's a terrible division right now. I'm not saying there are no good fighters there, but it's not a good division. I mean, you got Callum Smith, the number one guy there. Pretty much a consensus. He's the number one guy, and many people don't feel that Callum Smith is not really that good of a fighter. Me, I think he's a good fighter. I beg to differ, but some people look at it in certain situations like Iotis. For example, we had this conversation a while back. He said, "Look," and I think you were part of that conversation, and he said that look, Callum Smith was in the right place at the right time. He fought a one-armed George Groves.
Yep.
He fought a guy who was a Rossman replacement in the WBSS. A guy who replaced Organ Bramer, I believe.
Yeah.
Organ Bramer had to pull out due to an injury or something like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And whatnot. So he was just at the right place at the right time. You know, and he fought a small ass Osama Dam. Yeah, that was a fight that should have even never been made.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, Osama Dam. I mean, Jackham is. You know, I respect him as a fighter, but he had no business fighting Callum Smith. That the weight disparity was just off the charts. I'm like, what the fuck? Look at the size difference. I mean, the rate, the height, and the reach. I mean, wow. But anyways, like I said, though, super middleweights, it's stagnant right now. I mean, the only way they can kind of get things going, they need to start fighting each other. Callum Smith, Anthony Durrell could be a player too to the extent. Callum Smith got to fight, Benavidez. He's got to fight the Ramirez. Billy Joe Saunders, we don't know. He's got a belt there. I mean,
oh man,
we all know we all know he more likely is going to retire, so that belt's going to be vacant.
Yep.
So,
dude, yeah, you're right, man. Look, man, dudes don't want to fight. So, hey, by the way, BT Sports tomorrow, my guy, I was in his first fight the other day. Jerome Stay Ready Campbell fighting on BT Sports tomorrow, 8:00, 7:00. I don't know what time UK and America time. So I'm gonna be going live. Make sure you check him out. I haven't been part of the training camp, but I'm a part of his team. Team Stay Ready. That's my guy. So I'm going to be covering the fight live on BT Sports. It's not the main event, but it's like the co-main event. 2 undefeated fighters. So Jerome Stay Ready Campbell going against Nick Ball. I've been promoting it on my channel for you guys in the States. So he's coming in tremendous weight. He's coming listen. This should be a great fight. So for you guys, you know what I mean, get ready for that fight over here in the UK. That's gonna be tomorrow on BT Sports. I think the show starts at 7, so probably tune in there. So make sure we cover that. But going back to Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, Al Heyman, and we was talking about I was complaining about Al Heyman's not making the fights and stuff like that. But Daniel pointed out to me that a lot of legal entanglements, that a lot of Bob Arum and Kathy Duval and all these people been getting, and that's what Bob Arum doesn't want to do. Al Heyman doesn't want to do. You were saying, go ahead, Dan. Explain to the people why Al Heyman doesn't want to do business. I mean, with Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, Kathy Duval, and all of them. Go ahead. So, tell the people.
Yeah. Well, I think, me personally, I think Al has a fairly decent relationship with Eddie, so I don't think that's that much of an issue with why certain fights. I mean, other than the Wilder Joshua, that's like the only roadblock those two ever had when it comes to making fights. So that's about it. So I think the relationship has always been pretty good. But when it comes to Bob Arum, the Kathy Duva, and Bob Arum, who actually has a cozy relationship with the WBO, what people don't know, and that rarely gets talked about, is that several years ago, the WBO president, Paco Vero, was involved in a federal investigation against Al Heyman on alleged bribery or fixing fights is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So Paco Vero agreed to cooperate with the investigators in that particular situation. Pretty much ousted Heyman as a guy who's a conspirator to the whole situation of fights being fixed and bribes. Mm-hmm. So obviously that case didn't go anywhere. And because of that situation, Al Heyman has had some rift and some what's the word I'm looking for? It's animosity towards the WBO, and that's why in some cases the PBC refuses to recognize the WBO in certain events. But I think that relationship has been salvaged to this extent now, because I see now the WBO has been ranking their fighters. So I think that has been resolved. It was up, Phil, but so that would explain. That would probably explain why why Al Heyman and Bob Arum had issues over the years of making fights. In part because of the WBO situation when they were complying with the federal investigators against Al Heyman for fixing fights. And another situation occurred with the MGM Grand, I believe, where the MGM Grand pretty much gave certain rights for Al Heyman to host fights in Vegas, and Bob Arum had a close relationship with the MGM Grand and their event organizers for years, along with their management team. And I think, from my understanding, is that they had exclusive rights to host fights there, based off the number of fights they were going to host there. And they had severe ties and gave those rights to Heyman. And then that kind of pissed off Bob Arum. Bob Arum was never kind of gotten over that situation for a long while now. Mm-hmm. So that would probably explain why Al Heyman is having rifts with people like Bob Arum. And I forgot you mentioned Kathy Duva, And Kathy Dewitt couldn't get over the fact that she got kicked off NBC because she had exclusive rights to them at one time when she was hosting main events fights on there. And then when NBC severed ties with Duva and gave Heyman the contract because Heyman had a better offer, he had a better sales pitch, obviously, a better presentation, a better business model, as you want to call it. Kathy Dewitt could never get over that. And that's why she took every opportunity she could to slander Heyman as an inexperienced guy who doesn't know how to run shows, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And we saw what happened to Kathy Dewitt, where, she's kind of been reduced to irrelevance ever since.
100%.
So that's would explain why, we have these situations with Heyman. And now I'm not saying that Al Heyman that's not his fault why certain fights can't get made. I'm not saying that. But understand why there are certain reasons behind why these fights, PBC can't get fights done with certain promoters, because there's promoters who don't like him because of certain situations that I laid out.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Before I bring Phil in, Dan, one more topic we're gonna bring before I bring Phil in, because I want to hear what you say about Teofimo Lopez and Lomo about the money. All right, so Luke Campbell and Ryan Garcia, the dispute between Ryan Garcia, De La Hoya, backwards and forwards. You know what I mean? I'm listening to some people. They actually think Campbell's got a chance to beat him because he's got the Olympic background. And like, you know what I'm saying? They don't like the way Ryan Garcia hits the pads. They reckon, you know what I mean, his head's there to be took. Now, look, my take is this, man. Look, right, I like Luca, man, but he been served up like curry out here. Eddie Hearn been serving him hard. Even Mendy, tough European fighter, put him on his ass. He come back and beat him, like, because Even was out of the ring for a while, came and he barely beat him as well, right? And then Lomachenko, what's his name again? Linares, you know what I mean? He been losing. Like, yeah, he might knock some of them down or be in the fight, but he been losing steadily and he ain't show no ambition just to be in the party. I just don't see how he can beat a game Ryan Garcia on his form, fast, hungry, about the game. Like I know Luke's gonna try and keep it steady behind the jab with his southpaw, but he's, you know what I'm saying, he's just basic, bro. So, like, give us your take on the Golden Boy situation and how you see that fight going. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I know Ryan Garcia and Golden Boy are at odds right now. And Garcia is really pleading to get out of his contract with Golden Boy. I mean, I don't know what is the monetary situation behind that. But I hope somehow, some way they can get that resolved. If not, then Ryan needs to go somewhere else where he feels somebody can show him his worth, I guess. But obviously he hasn't really done much, but it is what it is. But other than that, as far as the fight is concerned, as you laid out a good point, Luke Campbell hasn't really come through in big fights because, he's putting there against Linares. He's putting there. I mean, some people thought he wasn't really ready for that fight. He gave Linares a tough fight. He gave Lomachenko a relatively tough fight, even though we thought he was going to get smoked, in that fight, but that didn't really happen. He gave Lomachenko a pretty tough fight. And he gave Mendy a pretty tough fight. You know, Mendy was like a European fighter, journeyman, and beat him in the first fight. Yeah. He gave him a tough second fight. So I'm not saying Luke won't be game. I'm sure he'll try, but he'd probably be outgunned. Like you say, he's going up against a hungrier fighter, young in his youth, who really want to get a title. He wants to make a name for himself. Maybe Luke doesn't really have the ambition, because you have to understand, though, you have to factor this into the equation too, because Luke has lost his father a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not sure if he's gotten over that, because that can affect you mentally as well. Going into fights. You know what I mean? He lost his father on the eve of the Linares fight, his first world title shot.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, he lost his father, so he. Yes, I'm not sure if he. I mean, look, things like that is going to take a while to get over, especially a family member, someone who's been very, very impactful in your life. I mean, and again, this is still, this is only a few years ago when this happened, 3 years ago. So he, I'm not sure. Again, I'm not. Maybe that still has affected him psychologically, why he's come up short in his performances. But at the same time, the fight is going to be, is going to be made. I'm not sure they come to terms yet, but I would favor Ryan Garcia to win that fight. Probably on points, maybe. I'm not sure about knockout, because Luke Campbell is not an easy guy to knock out.
Yeah. Hear that? YG was just here, so he's dust out. So Phil's still here. So we're gonna hear my man Phil Walker, man, Houston, Texas, stand up. Hey, by the way, the NBA gonna start. I'm gonna cover the NBA, the Lakers, Clippers. I'm gonna cover that game. So if anyone wants to cover on that, make sure we jump over that. So my man Phil Walker's gonna give us his take of Teofimo Lopez not accepting the 1.2 million from Lomachenko's team. What's up, Phil? How you been?
Yo, what's up, man?
We're good, man. What's your take on what we saying about that, man? What's your take on that, bro?
So Teofimo is not going to accept the 1.2 million, right?
Yeah, that's what we're hearing.
All right, man. I don't know if that's 100% confirmed, but right now that is the hard rumor mill that's going around right now. But to me, if this is 100% true, to me that's just ridiculous. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think he deserves that much. I mean, what he's had a couple fights. He's had one. He hadn't even defended his title yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, at the end of the day, Lomachenko is the guy in his division. Okay. And I think, Top Rank is being more than fair by offering him 1.2 million. Look, he's getting a better deal than most. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you're not going to get anywhere playing hardball with Bob, especially when you're the one that's been calling for the fight for so long. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? That's the main issue. You've been calling out Lomachenko since, I can remember. Now you actually got a chance to fight him. They offer you a decent amount of money. To me, more than Bob would probably offer the average guy. And now you want to play hardball? To me, that just doesn't make sense, man. A lot of people were saying that does Lomachenko want to fight against Lopez? Now I'm thinking, does Lopez want to fight against Lomachenko? That's just ridiculous. And that's my take on it.
Yo, bro, hey, man, you man, that's why I like Phil, bro. We don't always agree, but Phil gonna give you 100, bro. And I'm telling you, bro, Phil just put it down. He ain't done nothing to earn that money, bro. Like dudes out here talking that jive. You ain't done nothing. So Phil, we gonna get into Terrence Bud Crawford and Gary Russell Jr. and Gary Russell Jr. talking to Bill Haney on Fred Show. I don't know if you've seen it. It's been everywhere, and he trying to say, he offered Bill Haney to fight Devin Haney to Bill Haney, and like Bill Haney didn't get back to him. Bill was like, "Yo, I thought you was joking. Like the money you asked for," and then Gary Russell came back. I thought the offer was fair, so I'm assuming, I don't know, maybe 3.7 mil, more than that, more than even the Lomachenko or Teofimo Lopez money. And they're like, "Yo, bro, like they looking at our the DAZN money, trying to get paid." But I'm like, "Yo, Gary, you ain't done nothing, bro." And what's Devin Haney done anyway? He's even a champion. He ain't even think why you want to pay so much mil and you're moving up. Like you ain't bringing that to the party. Like some dudes, like they ain't real. So give us your take on the whole Gary Russell character, the way he's conducting himself, and against Haney and Terrence Bud. Go ahead, Phil.
Well, the whole situation with Terrence Bud, I think that's just kind of something to keep these guys busy to talk about during this COVID-19 to stay relevant, because let's be honest, those two guys are never going to fight one another. It's just back and forth guys, talking trash. It's entertaining. It's giving us something to discuss. But now, let's go ahead and sweep that under the rug and let's talk about some stuff that can really happen with this whole Haney situation, okay? I'm going to be real with you. This is the first thing I want to say. Garrett Russell should be fighting Leo Santa Cruz, okay? That's the first thing I want to say, okay? I think Al Heyman has definitely wronged Gary Russell in that regard, because he's been calling out Leo for like 2 years now. And it sounds like Leo is going to fight against Tank Davis. So to me, that's kind of messed up on Al's part. Gary Russell is actually trying to step up and fight somebody to unify. And that's great. But at the same time, this Devin Haney situation, I think that's a hell of a fight. I think I don't understand why Haney is not jumping all over that. So because I don't think he deserved that. I don't think he's going to get a better offer anywhere else. So I don't know what these guys' game plans are. I don't know how these guys are strategically planning out their career. But at the end of the day, I'm starting to think these guys don't want to fight one another, man. That's really what I'm leaning to. Because that's, man, 3 mil? Come on, man. Like you need to be all over that. Because who are you about to fight? Who you about to fight next?
Who, Haney? No, but what I'm saying, he want Haney to pop the money. Like they looking on all it is that they want, like, they talking to Bill, right? And I was talking like to B Marsh, like, so they know the zone over there, so they're expecting the zone to put the money up. Like that's what Gary thinking they gonna be up. Like Bill, I don't know, he's got a budget and he would out with Eddie because you know Eddie's stingy. So whatever Eddie's gonna say, give him. Gary wants them to put up the money and he come and he get paid. Like, give an example, right? Back in the day,
Okay, I got you. I'm saying it in reverse. I'm saying it in reverse.
Yeah.
Oh well, man, look. Gary Russell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Been fighting once a year for the longest. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I think Gary Russell is a great fighter. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't think that fight generates that kind of money for either one of those guys just because they're just not that kind of tier guy right now. And I think Haney's perspective is because he's just young in the game. And I think Gary Russell's is just because he's too inactive and he's all bark with no bite.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, he's asking for $3 million. That's way too much bread, man. That's way too much bread.
Yeah.
You know, and to say something. At the end of the day, these Al Haymon fighters are coming to the table and they demanding these massive amounts of money, but Al is not willing to do counter offers with these offers that these guys are asking for. And I said this earlier, man, and I had this conversation this morning. I said that Gary Russell should probably be signed to the zone anyway, because that's the zone market right there. Those smaller guys, those real small guys. I think if Eddie Hearn had Gary Russell, I think right now he wouldn't even be worried about trying to get a fight for $3.3 million or $3 million or whatever the situation is, because Eddie have a front center. You know,
well, like Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer ain't never made no mill. Like Tevin Farmer was a world champion. He had old cockeyes Tevin Farmer lose to some bum. Like Eddie Hearn would served them up, man, to them Euro bums, man. Like I'm being honest with you, I think he better with Al Haymon defending the belt against Jojo Diaz, who moved up, and Jojo damn whatever moved with Diaz, whatever moved up and won a bait. I'm like, yo, bro. I'm like, Gary Russell he look like he on the couch and he hanging out with you know, with a fraction of you on. Yeah, I ain't gonna mention their name. Hanging out with them, just talking jive, man. He just talking mad smack, bro. Like real talk. This dude is like real annoying, bro. Like, go ahead, Phil. He's real annoying. Go ahead, Phil.
Like I said, man, Gary Russell is all bark, no bite.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's done himself any favors in his career, considering his, inactivity, man. You can't be a fighter that's fighting once a year and you just coming out the blue and saying, okay, give me $3 million to go and fight this guy. They're like, well, who have you fought the last 3 years to get this $3 million? I mean, let's be honest about this. What fan base are you bringing to the table in order for us to award you this kind of money?
Yeah.
And I like Gary Russell as a fighter, but that's just where it stops for me personally. You understand what I'm saying?
All right. Go ahead. Because I'm gonna change up, because you already put the point in that. Paulie bitch ass in the news. He be saying some grimy stuff. I mean, and me talking about the Euro fighters are better than the flag fighters. So Showtime, he got fired from Showtime. He still got to deal with Sky Sports over here, but I reckon like Sky Sports have injected, I believe about 10 or 5, between 10 and 5 million on trying to support diversity on Sky Sports. So I don't think Paulie gonna have too much time over there. But what's your take on Paulie Malignaggi being fired from Showtime for his comments?
Man, look, man, I'm gonna tell you like this right here, man. I don't do a whole bunch of cussing, but I'm finna cuss right now. Fuck Paulie, okay? I mean, he should be fired. I mean, this is my deal right here, man. These guys have been in the industry for years. Just as far as doing interviews, now he's doing commentary. I mean, he knows what to say and he knows what not to say. Even if you feel that way, you don't come out and say it. For what? What purpose does that serve? You understand what I'm saying? All that's going to do is rile people up because right now it's just intense times. You understand what I'm saying? And then on top of it, it's not credible what he's saying. He sounds stupid. So I think Showtime did the right thing by getting rid of him. Let's be honest about this. They can keep the train going, and ain't nobody gonna miss Paulie. And guess what? They saving a couple of $100,000 million in the meantime. So all he did was screw himself. So guess what? It's good for him because he's first of all ignorant, and we need to educate ignorant people. And what better way to educate them by stripping away his platform to speak about stuff, not knowing what it is that he's talking about. And that's just the way I see it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, Showtime said if he retracts the comments, they'll let him back on. He didn't want to do it, and now he's gone. And I'm like, yo, good, bro. I'm like, good. Like Wilder, like he had back on the floor with Wilder. You know what I mean? He real petty. Like Paulie, he real petty. He does. You know what I mean? I talked to Paulie a couple of times. You know what I mean? He real petty. Like he real get into some skirmishes. And like, yo, bro, I just like I don't really miss that. You know what I mean? But Showtime needs to bring a better guy. I know we was talking about Tim Bradley. He wild. Tim Bradley, he crazy over there. Tim Bradley, that power's gone through his head. I don't know what it is with some boxers. As soon as they get on the mic, they turn into a different person. Because Tim Bradley, when he's in Korea, he never used to talk that way. He used to try and come across humble. My man B Marsh, is that B Marsh? B Marsh, yeah, that's B Marsh. He gonna defend. Yo, what's up? Mr. Goody? We're live. Hey, B Marsh gonna defend Gary Russell because he, you know what I'm saying? That's his boy, right? So Mr. Goody, right? All right, so let me finish.
Yes, indeed. What's up with y'all, man?
Yo, what's up? What's up? Hey, let me finish up though. So it was what I'm trying to say about Paulie. Yo, B Marsh, you need to put yourself on mute. Put yourself on mute. Mute me, Marsh. Please. Yeah, you getting feedback. Just put yourself on mute for a second.
All right.
Cool. Oh, you get it. I think the YouTube is probably in the background. He's on his phone. Yeah, put yourself on mute, B. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm saying, listen, man. I ain't listen, bro. I ain't missing Paulie. You know what I'm saying? He's a Donald Trump supporter. You know what I mean? And he been hitting the head. He crossed. I know his hands are still messed up from that bare knuckle thing, but he ain't right in his head, man. And what Phil said and Dan said earlier on about him, I ain't missing him. Like he deserves to go. I ain't missed that stuff. Like you need to take that stuff and go re-educate yourself on Bensonhurst in Brooklyn. Like you need to y'all educate yourself on some stuff. Like you on some bullshit and we ain't playing for that over here. And I don't miss you. So we're gonna talk to Mr. Goody, Mr. B Marsh, because Gary Russell's his guy, and we could all go ahead. We all gonna get on B Marsh, but Phil, we gonna let B Marsh go in and let him give his take on his guy Gary Russell. Go ahead, B Marsh. Everyone's muted. Go ahead, talk about your guy. Go ahead, B Marsh. B Marsh. I think unmute yourself, B Marsh. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not into too much about Gary Russell and Terrence Crawford. That don't even make sense, man. They like 4 or 5 weight classes apart, I said he don't make $1 million a fight. He does. He's been doing that since he's been a champion. Every time the man fights right here in the MGM National Harbor, Oxon Hill, Maryland, the man clocks over $1 million. And he gets the revenue from the gate. You know what I mean? He has a kind of special deal with the man Al Heyman, even though he himself, ever since last year, said he's no longer managed or advised by Al Heyman. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the main reasons we haven't looked out for Gary Russell as far as getting him that Leo Santa Cruz fight. Why does Gary Russell fight once a year? Nobody's trying to fight him, man. You guys didn't even mention the man Josh Warrington. Josh Warrington don't want to fight no Americans. Not Shakur Stevenson, which would... Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Go ahead. Go on, burn.
Okay. Yeah, and he ain't want to fight Shakur Stevenson, a unification. He ain't want to fight Gary Russell in a unification. You know what I mean? You check the only man who stepped up to the plate and that was a mandatory was Jojo Diaz. And look at Jojo Diaz now. He's a world champion. He got a title with the, IBF at 130 pounds. You know what I mean? The truth of the matter is Gary Russell, man, a lot of people have avoided him. They're not trying to get in the ring with the man. Him versus Devin Haney.
I've said it before, even on my channel, he's going to compromise his weight going up 2 weight classes. And it usually takes a special fighter to beat a man going up 2 weight classes. In boxing history, it's rare, very rare. It almost never happens, with a few exceptions. You know what I mean? So him going up to fight Devin Haney, a guy who's already got at 140 pounds, I think he's going to compromise himself. You know what I mean? So I just want the best for Gary Russell. I would have loved for him to get the unifications at 126. But none of those guys want no smoke with the man. You know what I mean? Look at Tank Davidson and Leo Santa Cruz, 2 guys who both avoided Gary Russell, and they decided to fight each other. You know what I mean? It's kind of like what B-Hop and Kovalev did to Adonis Stevenson, or what Andre Ward and Kovalev did to Adonis Stevenson. We going to fight each other and beat this guy. That's just what happened with it, man. They bent out of shape off this stuff with did not say that man ain't snuffle. You know what I mean? That man stole him, whether it was a sucker punch or guys Gary Russell say Slim walked up on him. Hey, Gary Russell, man, from Capitol Heights, Maryland. If you know anything about Capitol Heights, it ain't no joke out there. You know what I mean? It's right on the borderline of Northeast, Sheriff Road. You know what I'm saying? Eastern Ave. Yeah, man. So Gary Russell, man, anytime he fights at the MGM National Harbor, his fights, he was headlining. It was on Showtime, selling out that joint, getting us $1 million plus gate revenue. So all that stuff that he don't got a fan base, so don't draw nothing. That's not true. He might not have a big fan base outside of the DMV area. You know what I'm saying? But the truth of the matter is he do clock over $1 million. And he do sell out the MGM National Harbor.
All right.
What fight is there for him right now? I'm trying to tell you, even though he's smaller than Devin Haney, it's a better fight than Gamboa. Let Bill Haney tell you. They're going to try to tell you like Tank Davidson said. Yeah, Tank Davis said Gary Russell old, but they fought a 38-year-old Gamboa. That's what Devin Haney said.
I was going to ask you, hey, B-March, I was going to ask you about that. What's the deal with Tank Davis and Gary Russell? I know Gary Russell wanted that fight. So how did Floyd and Tank Davis, how did they approach that? Did they say that they're not interested, or what's going on with that?
Go ahead, B-Marsh. Oh, B-Marsh doing some technical problems, bro. B-Marsh on top.
Yeah, it probably is.
Well, B-Marsh ain't playing around. He from them areas. So I know B-Marsh is hard on Gary Russell. So, because like we be getting in on Gary. I mean, like rest of the people, like we be getting in on Gary Russell. We don't like the way he be repping, but B-Marsh is here to tell us that he gets a meal wherever. He don't look like he wearing a meal. Like the way he be repping, the way he be chasing down people, though. You know what I'm saying? But if like real talk, he been around from when he career started. He been around for ages, bro. And the first fight he stepped up against Slim, against Lomo. Yeah, he'll be back on in a bit. Against Lomo, he didn't go his way. You know what I'm saying? And another guy was in his division was Waters. What's his name again? His division was Nito Donaire. You know what I'm saying? So, like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he never said nothing. He was just defending that belt once a year. Johnny Gonzalez once a year. Now, all the time he feel like, say, I need to start talking and being a rotten egg. So, boy, like, I mean, B-Masters put it out there. He said he be getting a meal. B-Masters getting out there support him. But real talk, man, he be outpricing himself. That's what I be hearing. Outpricing what he think. If he be getting a meal, then he definitely did probably ask for about 3 or 4 mil for Devin Haney for that fight to happen. And I'm like, yo, bro, ain't no one trying to give you that sort of money. So, and he's moving up, so I don't know. Well, we got the rest of the guys in the chat. Like we got my man, we got Ronald Finky in the chat. We have Tommy Temper in the chat.
My bad, John. My shit cut off.
Yeah, go ahead, B-Moss. You and Dan was going backwards and forwards.
Yeah, Dan was saying, yeah. What up, Dan?
Yeah, what up, dog? I was asking, did they Gary Russell try to approach the Tank Davis fight? I know they went in no direction to fight Santa Cruz. So before that, was Gary Russell wanting to get that fight done?
He been wanting it for a while. He's been calling him out for at least 2 years. The last time when Gary Russell fought JoJo Diaz at the MGM National Harbor. Tank Davis was right there. Front row. I've seen it, you know what I mean? You check it. So he been calling him out, but the guy hasn't been responding. And he said that Gary Russell owed the last fight, and he said, and he went on to fight Gamboa.
Yeah, I mean, and that has been hypocritical on their part. And that's the thing about Tank. I know this discussion ain't about him, but him fighting all the older, younger guys, the older, smaller guys all the damn time. I mean, come on, man.
That's why Gary Russell told Tank Davis, come on, man. I fit the criteria. You've been fighting smaller guys your whole career, which is the truth.
That is the truth, yeah. So me personally, you know me, man, I will say this, though. I have no problem with fighters fighting small men, but you constantly do it, I got a problem with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Tank Davis has made a career since the Pedraza fight. That's all he's been doing.
Right, and I mean, if anything, you want to fight a small guy, I'll accept Gary Russell Jr. Santa Cruz, I kind of accept too, but Santa Cruz hasn't really done much in a while now.
Mm-hmm. You know, Santa Cruz got a title at 130, and he also has a title at 26. So, I mean, the Santa Cruz makes a little bit more sense. If, you know, because Tank is going to fight him at 130, correct? Not 35?
He's at 135.
I'm not sure.
135, and I think Tank's at 135 now, isn't it?
Tank is at 135. Yeah, I'm not sure what weight class the fight going to be.
No, it's going to be at 130. It's going to be at 130. Tank's coming back down to 130.
Okay.
So really, honestly, if Tank going to fight him at 130, then that's Leo's weight class. Because he has a title at 130.
Not necessarily, man. Leo's a natural bantamweight. I'm not bantamweight, super bantamweight. Super bantamweight. He's a small dude.
Bantamweight. He was an IBF 118-pound champ.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not doubting that he's a smaller guy. But what I'm saying is this right here. If Tank is moving down to fight Leo and a division that he has a title in, and not a bullshit title, a real title, then it's not as lopsided as you guys are saying right now. We know he's smaller, but Tank is moving down. Leo's not moving up. So that does
Leo's title is just as fraudulent as Tank Davis' title. Look who he fought. Who's that guy?
At 30?
Yeah, at 130. That WBA title he holding. He beat a guy who was not even ranked in the WBA top 15.
Wait, did he beat Cuellar for that title?
No, this some Hispanic guy.
B. Marsh, that's not the point. How he got the title. He did fight for the title. Now, whether the opponent was up to par or not is not the point. The point is he went up to 130 and he fought for a title, and he has a title now. And Tank is moving down a weight class, not moving, and Leo is not technically moving up. He's staying at a weight class that he's already competed in. That's just the facts. You can think he's smaller or whatever. Yeah, I agree with that, but I'm just giving you the facts.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Phil, but at the same time, that's still Tank is still going to maul Santa Cruz. He's still going to maul him. He's going to maul him with his strength. He's going to maul him with his speed, and of course, we know Tank does have a chin. So I just don't.
So does Santa Cruz. He ain't never been dropped.
Right, and Santa Cruz, we don't know his power is going to carry. I don't think his power carry will at 130. So that's another thing that's going to be detrimental.
Yeah, he ain't doing no Pacquiao. He ain't on that Pacquiao thing. He ain't doing that, man. Leo's a good guy. Now Gary Russell, on the other hand, he ain't a good guy. I ain't appreciate the way he rolled up on Santa Cruz's dad. You know what I mean? I don't appreciate how he be talking greasy. But, you know, he's B Marsh's guy. B Marsh gonna roll with him. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like the way he be rolling. You know what I mean? He out here just talking greasy on everything, talking about something with Bud, what happened years ago for whatever thing. And Bud will slap him all over the place if they was to fight, right? But the thing is, right? But the thing is, like, you say, okay, Josh Warren and all them things. Look, at some point, right, B Marsh, right? The dude you got Shakir Stevenson, all them guys there. At some point, bro, like look, man, if you want to make these fights and be great, because then the clock is see what they're trying to do with him, and it happens to a lot of guys. they champion for the longest, right? So they're trying to wait them out, wait until they get old, and then all of a sudden all the big fights are gonna happen. They did the same thing with Parnell. They do the same thing with any fighter. They waiting for Gary to get old, and then they gonna pick the right time. He gonna get his ass whooped. So what I'm saying with Gary is like, yo, listen, dude, your legacies, the sand is run out the hourglass. You're gonna have to make exceptions and to make like you could unify the whole like right now. Warrington, you could unify the division and just beat this cat. And I mean, you could beat him, bro. You could beat, you know what I'm saying? You could call out Lee Selby. There's a lot of European guys that you can go over there. Like you're a world champion, you can go over into the Europe and beat these guys, but he ain't trying to, bro. He's trying to say he don't fight, but Gary's pricing himself out, bro. You know what I mean? Like you say in the mill, he been getting the mill. Well, really, if he's just getting a mill, that means he ain't gonna see a mill because after taxes, paying the promoter and the rest of the stuff, so his price is under a mill. So he's probably looking against like Haney about 3 mil so we can get some money back. But you gotta remember, B Mars, the featherweight division ain't lucrative. It ain't like when Nassim Hamid was there where they were making that cream. There ain't no Brera, there ain't no Morales, and he ain't putting the division on fire. Gary Russell's talented. 100%, he lightning. He remind me. I thought he was like Shea Mosley when he was coming through. But bro, since that Lomachenko fight, dude ain't doing it. And he beat Jodo Diaz, who moved up a weight. Fine, but bro, at some point you need to sacrifice something just to get the big fights, and then the paydays will come. Like when you unify or be undisputed, ain't no one can tell you nothing. That's the way I feel. I mean, what you say about that? Go ahead.
I agree with you on that. I heard on your channel too when you said he should go to England and fight a Warrington in his backyard. I agree with that 100%. He should do that. Yeah. But these guys don't try to mention him. They don't talk about him at all.
Yo, Kevin Kelly.
Warrington and his pops.
Kevin Kelly came to the UK when Nassim Hamid was fighting ringside, purchased his own ticket, and he rolled up, and this guy put him and said, I'm gonna smoke your boots. Hamid didn't want to fight. When I talked to Kevin Kelly, remember, he's a featherweight because he was like 50-0 or something like that. I think he only had 1 loss or something like that. He said, look, no one wants to. I only 1 loss, but he was the champion at the time. He said, bro, them guys don't. I'm gonna have to. I forced the fight. So, like, it's the same thing. But I think Gary's trying to do that on social media. But he's coming across to me. I know he's your boy, like a cornball. Like real talk, he coming off real sleazy. You know what I mean? Leo, what he did to Leo and his dad, it was real disrespectful, and now he lost the fight. Devin Haney, Devin Haney don't want it. So what I'm saying to him is like, bro, you're gonna have to crash the party, bro. You know what I mean? But I don't know. You know what I mean? The thing with Gary just been for my boxing will talk. You can see he's a consummate pro. He fight and let his boxing talk. That's why he been quiet for years. But now he's had enough. It's like, yo, bro, I'm gonna start talking. But he's just coming across real. He ain't him, bro. Like me and Dan was saying, it just don't natural, you know. He ain't a natural talker, and he over there with Fred and them things there. It's like, yo, bro, he ain't a good look, bro. Like ain't and dudes over there encouraging him.
Yeah, Slim over there trying to gas it up. Like,
yeah, see, yeah, like he over there. Yeah,
man, that's why I haven't even talked about that. Bud Crawford and Gary Russell, because it's not gonna happen. Nobody wants to see that. You know, we just want to see Gary Russell in unifications.
Yes.
And then fights that are quality fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, boy, at least Selby
hasn't got that since the Jojo Diaz, and that was a mandatory. And Jojo Diaz came from Golden Boy.
Yeah.
I think, and he came over to Showtime to fight him. I mean.
Yeah, I just feel with Gary Russell, he out here barking like he calling out pound for pound the best. And you still ain't even got that work with Lomo. Lomo done cut through the weights, bro. Like they're about the same height. So it ain't like say you know what I'm saying. It ain't about the belts, but at this point, it's like, yo, bro, like Slim, you can go up to super feather, you can go up to lightweight. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no one telling you can't. But Gary, the bottom of the matter is that he on that WBC belt. He likes defending the belt once a year, and I don't know who. And he's just sitting on the Pinewood, bro. He's sitting on an island by himself, and ain't no one care about the featherweight division right now. He ain't fire. He ain't. You got Josh Wharton.
Everybody done moved out of there.
Well, Josh Wharton, like, see, Josh Wharton has a crowd, right? And you're saying he has a crowd. Look, man, bro, like, you gotta make the fight, Slim. Yo, you gotta make the fight.
They're not gonna do it. He ain't gonna come to USA, Josh Warrington. He
nah.
already heard that.
Yeah, but so why he go to you? So why what? He can't come to the UK.
He should. Gary Russell should go to the UK, fight him in Leeds.
Yeah, it's right.
Fight that man in that stadium, that football stadium.
Okay. He gonna get robbed though, by the way. But I'm just saying, he gonna get robbed though. He Gary. If Gary don't knock him out, he ain't gonna win the fight, bro.
Gary Russell will knock this guy out, man.
Nah, he what?
Going the distance with Gary Russell.
Nah, man, I got Just Wharton winning the fight all day.
You tripping, man? You watching?
No, man. Yo, hold up. I tell you why.
Fight probably ain't gonna go 5 rounds,
bro. What you talking about, bro? Just Wharton is the fittest guy ever. He gonna ambush Gary. That's what Lomo did. Lomo ambushed him. Like Josh Wharton gonna ambush him, bro. Like we gonna roll up.
That guy can't crack a neck, and he throw wild punches.
Yeah, but but that's how you beat thingy. That's how you beat Gary. You just ambush him, bro.
Gary Russell's a better inside fighter, and Gary Russell's right hook is devastating. It's devastating.
Nah, man, he ain't that good. How come he didn't? Who didn't let Lomo? How come he didn't? How come he didn't let Lomo out then?
Man, he dropped Lomo in round like 8. They didn't even count it.
It was
right hook.
That didn't look like a rope. It didn't look like a proper knockdown. It looked like he graded. Flash knockdown. Bro, so what Lomo nearly made him quit, bro. Like Lomo nearly made him quit out. He blew him up.
He won a majority decision.
Yo,
that was a close fight. That wasn't no wash.
When you watched the fight, it looked like it was unanimous. He blew up Gary. Gary.
I agree with me, Marsh. It wasn't a wash of a fight. It was closer in the beginning, toward the middle, but then the end, Lomachenko kind of.
He blew him out. Yeah, exactly. So exactly, he blew him out. He blew him out.
He won on my card 7-5.
Oh man, come on, man. Come on. Come on.
I thought Lomachenko won 8-4. I gave him 8 rounds of 4.
Thank you. That one, nah.
It was close fight at the beginning, but at the end, Lomachenko kind of ran away with it.
Ran away, man. Ran away. And what I'm saying,
I had him winning that fight for sure.
All right.
It was a close fight.
Josh Wharton will beat Gary Russell on pure pressure. And he over in the UK. Gary Russell
Nah,
you in America? Nah. Use it on the American. Use it on that American thing, bro. You on that American thing, bro.
You know I keep it real with you.
And we said when he fought Donaire, everybody was picking Donaire. I picked Warrington because I said Donaire. Sorry, Frampton. Because the man Frampton had been slipping, and this guy is too much of a pressure fighter for the man Frampton.
Yeah.
He could beat a Frampton, but Gary Russell is too slick with it, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's too slick with it.
I agree
His inside game is very underrated. That's how he beat JoJo Diaz. JoJo Diaz thought he gonna throw the body shots.
No, I agree with you.
He was doing that, but he ain't gonna do that for long.
I agree. He beats Frampton and Quigg and all them guys there. I believe that, right? But I just don't see he beat Josh Wharton. Josh Wharton's a maniac. He come forward. He on that Ricky Hatton ish. He gonna come. He gonna use his head.
Don't know how to punch.
Yeah. Elbows. And Gary Russell don't like. He gonna complain to the ref. I just see him on that. Yo, man, he elbowed me. Yeah, Gary gonna complain and cry to the ref, man. Y'all can see it already. That's why he don't go over there. Because look, man. Man. Yeah, if in America, if it's in America, Gary wins. If it does. Gary ain't trying to travel though. Gary, listen, and that's the thing about it, right?
A lot of Americans ain't traveling lately.
Yeah.
He was the last one. Him and Bud Crawford.
Okay, there you go. Bud
came over there, but he fought nobody.
But that was a good bit. That was a good ass whipping though. That was a good ass whipping. I enjoyed that.
Absolutely, yeah. But who was that guy?
Yeah, I know.
That guy's not no Cal Brooks.
Nah, you right. But hey, listen. End of the day, what we're saying is that Gary Russell right now is talking a whole heap of smoke. He ain't backing it up, and he ain't got no one up though. So listen, the right what we can say is right now. Gary Russell, I hope he gets a big fight before he runs out. Because he don't look good. All right, so B-Moss, what's your take on Teofimo Lopez outpriced himself with Lomachenko, 1.2 mil he got offered, and Teofimo Lopez turned it down?
Teofimo Lopez out of order too, man. That's terrible. Yeah. He's getting $1.2 million. This guy has only 13 fights. He's 13-0. 1.2 million, man. Take that money and beat the man Lomachenko. Then the lightweight division is gonna be like an oyster in your palm. You know what I mean? You gonna be the guy. You gonna be in the pound for pound rankings for sure at 14-0 with 3. How many straps? Is it 3? Yeah, 3 straps. You know what I mean? That's what he need to do. But I don't know why he tripping, man. Them fellas want some more money. Nah, don't do that, man. Don't do that. You only got 13 fights. He just turned like 22 the other day, or is it today or yesterday?
Yeah, today.
Yeah, man. Them fellas gotta get that paper, man. You know what I mean? He been talking shit about Lomachenko all through COVID. You know what I'm saying? Talking about Lomachenko ran over there to the Ukraine because of COVID. Didn't want to fight at Madison Square Garden just last week. This guy, Teofimo Lopez, trolling Lomachenko. He's outside of Madison Square Garden. He's pointing it with his phone to the Madison Square Garden side. He's talking about, I'm here, Loma, where you at? Come on now. Come on, man. Loma was pump faking too earlier, talking about he don't want it in New York because Teofimo Lopez from New York, he gonna have all the fans, but now the shoes on the other foot. Looks like the man Teofimo Lopez and his pops, they really like, you know what? Why the fuck should we fight this guy, Lomachenko, right now? We probably might lose while we could defend our world title against Joe Schmo. Because that's what Top Rank's gonna do. They're gonna feed him a bunch of nobodies. Or recycle guys like Ray Beltran or somebody. Yeah, man, it's not a good look. Teofimo Lopez ruining what is supposed to be one of the best fights of the year. The WBC already ruined it with that franchise title for an undisputed. And also, it's just all bad. Like a lot of things in 2020, including boxing.
Yeah. All right. So what do you think about Paulie being fired from Showtime?
And probably from Benson Hoist.
Yeah.
How they say it? They don't say Benson Hurst.
Yeah.
Benson Hoist.
Yeah. He got fired for the racist comments, bro. Like European fighters are the issue in boxing, and they did. You know what I'm saying? What's your take on him being fired, bro? You missed him?
You know, I like these Eastern Bloc fighters too. I watched them into 2016 Olympics, and the Cubans always do it, but to me, they were the most impressive. You know what I mean? Hassan Boy, Dusmatov, all these guys. The dude who just won that 122, Abdul Kalaev or whatever, 122-pound title. He's unified at 7-0. But how many are these guys? How many of them are world champions? How's Paulie going to make such a statement like that that's, you know what I mean, doesn't have much weight to it, don't have no legs on it? You know what I'm saying? You could give props to the Eastern European fighters, sure, but you can't just jump out there and say that they're better than Americans and all that. And, you know, and then his statements about all lives matter and all these type of things, Paulie had it coming, man. Paulie's from Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, man. All I gotta say is Yusuf Hawkins. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a racist neighborhood. They killed the black dude in 91. That's where Paulie's from. So he's gone. I ain't mad. They should bring back Antonio Tarver.
Yeah, that's
why not?
Yeah, because he went out for the drugs thing. They got Tarver for the drugs thing, and like you know, he taking steroids, like which is really and truly, you know, what I mean, that was bad. But Paulie be talking greasy, and he had an argument with Deontay Wilder. So I ain't missing him, bro. Like, don't let the door hit you on the way back. I don't really miss Paulie in that respect.
Yeah, the Wilder stuff, I was never mad at nothing he said about Wilder. He's a commentator. He's being objective. You know? When they felt in the Luis Ortiz fight that he shouldn't have, the doctor or whatever was checking him too long after round 7. That's his opinion, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whether he felt Wilder lost to Fury in the first fight, he's not far-fetched. You know, I had it a draw. But I ain't see Wilder winning that fight. If anybody wanted, I'd give it to Fury. But I had it a draw on my scorecard. So those things I wasn't mad at. You know what I mean? I thought actually Wilder was being too sensitive about that, man. What the fuck? What you worry about what he talking? Go knock him out. Let your hands do the talking. And shut Paulie up.
That's true.
Just like how Floyd used to shut Lampley and what's the other guy's name? Larry Merchant.
Yeah, that's right.
Yo,
yeah.
Just go put in your work. Just like, they ain't going to give you your credit, Larry Merchant, but can't take the W away.
100%, man. Like 100%. We got a whole heap of guys in the chat, man. B-Moss boxing. Hey, B-Moss, we got a Clippers game coming on later on, bro.
I'm watching NBA right now. I'm watching Utah and New Orleans Pelicans.
Is that the NBA season started, or is that as a scrimmage?
Yeah, that's the first game for the season right now.
Ain't no one trying to watch that game. It's all about the Clippers right now, man.
I'm watching both. I'm gonna watch both.
Yeah,
but I'm watching this game. I want to see Zion Williamson. He's must-see TV.
Is he playing right now?
Yeah, he is.
What's he doing? He doing any damage?
He's got a couple layups. It's still early, first quarter.
Okay. Well, I'm going through the chat right now. Well, B-Moss, right? I'm gonna leave you in there. I don't know if you want to jump onto that Clippers game in about 2 hours, because I'm gonna go live on that one. I got, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll come on.
Yeah, all right, B-Moss. Let me leave you for now, but I appreciate you coming on the thing, and Dan and Phil. Like, I'm just going through the comments right now. You know what I mean? So, right. B-Moss, I'm gonna check you back in about 2 hours, and we're gonna get on that Clipper game right now. I'm just gonna read the comments right now, B-Moss. So thanks for coming over, B-Moss. I'll see you in a bit, bro.
I bet.
Nice one. Peace out.
Yes, sir.
That was B-Moss boxing, man. So I'm back, boy. Like, yeah, they don't listen. What I'm saying is this, yeah, is like, yo, see, Paulie, Teofimo, they need to listen. Teofimo needs to just take the joint. Paulie needs to shut that. You know what I'm saying? Paulie needs to be quiet. You know what I mean? You just need to chill and fall back and reflect and say, yo, bro, you live at a time in a sensitive era. You can't be talking greasy like that, bro. Can't be doing it. The Zone, Canelo. I was talking about, what's his name again? Benavidez. The fight. Hopefully Canelo can get that fight with Benavidez. Middleweight is pretty stacked, yeah. But the super middleweight, I don't like that division. I like heavyweight division. I think like heavyweight division stacked though, for real. I'm just highlighting all you guys' comments right now. You know what I'm saying? Wood from Baltimore, that would have been cool. Wood and B-Moss, they from the same kind of area. You know what I'm saying? They'll get along real quick. My man, I appreciate all you guys in the chat. So I'm just highlighting all your comments right now, putting them up there. And I appreciate you guys coming over, man. We're going to cover the NBA. But I'll tell you, Teofimo Lopez should have took the money. I don't know if it's reported, if it's factual, but that's what's being put out right now. You know what I mean? Should have took the money. Paulie needs to shut up. And boxing in general, we need to be fighting unifications. The best need to be fighting the best. And we need to keep boxing moving in 2020, 2021. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. I'm curious because I haven't seen it yet. Paulie Malignaggi, got dropped because he made racial comments. Yeah, a lot of people wasn't aware of that, you know. Paulie called the Europeans the dominant species. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Stuff like that. He crazy, bro. Paulie crazy, bro. Paulie crazy. Saying black fighters are done being at the top. Yeah, whatever. They've been at the top though. Like still Crawford, like Terrence Bud Crawford is still the number one guy, man. But they know who better than Terrence Bud. Like the only person who's got is Lomo. Lomo look like he's fading like a old hairline. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. What's that out here? Anyone here? You can go to comment. My man Tommy Temper. That's what I think. You know what I'm saying? Just be UFC. UFC will beat PBC. Oh, man, I don't know about that, son. They just UFC ain't no one trying to roll with the UFC. Exactly. Ronald Finke be laughing at that stuff. Boxing still is the multiple sport, man. Santa Cruz is smooth for man. Santa Cruz versus Tank is an all right fight. They're lower weight guys, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what comments here. We got Canelo is the king of boxing. You think so? I don't know if you start. I don't know about that stuff. I don't know about that. What's it? Teofimo Lopez takes home money. Must get split fire. I don't know about that. Teofimo, he needs to just take what they're offering, man. Just all I'm saying is take what he's offering. Boy, this boxing thing is real, gets real tight sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I like Paulie. I met Paulie a couple of times and stuff like that. Actually, I was playing. What did he say? What did he really say? What did he think, Paulie? I think I got the video right here. So let's play what Paulie be saying. Okay, let me see. Play what Paulie be saying. I think I got the video right here somewhere. Well, I was listening to it before. Where the video at? Shit. Hey, by the way, yeah, you guys need to check out tomorrow, right? On BT Sports tomorrow. I'm gonna cover it live anyway. Jerome Stay Ready Campbell. I can put the thing up. So you guys check it out. Jerome Stay Ready Campbell versus Nick Ball. It's a UK two undefeated fighters. I've been covering them. I'm part of the training camp. You know what I'm saying? I'm part of the team. Jim Jerome, you know what I'm saying? So let me play. I can actually play the clip for y'all. Like 1 second. I'm gonna play the clip. All right, cool. I'm gonna play the clip. I'm gonna put the volume down as well so you guys can see it. Let me see. 1 second. Let me turn the volume down. I'll play that. Where the volume up loud? 1 second. Let me play that. Okay, cool. All right, let me see. Let me get this up on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Share that. Hold up, so you guys, all lives matter. Trump, man, you guys are funny, man. Ain't no one messing with. Man, guys need to chill with that joint right there with the Trump talk. For real. They chill with that stuff right there. There we go. Let me get this up. Oh yeah, there it is. Cool. All right, play the joint. There it is. There's my guy, Stay Ready Campbell. You know what I'm saying? I'm part of the team camp. And there's Nick Ball. Tomorrow, BT Sports covering it live. You know what I'm saying? So you guys make sure you tune in on my live coverage of that. That's gonna be tomorrow. There you go. There's them face to face. So that's what we're gonna see tomorrow, BT Sports. So hope you guys can tune in tomorrow to watch that. That'd be interesting. In the meantime, Paulie needs to go find a new job. You know what I'm saying? It'll be interesting to see Showtime who they're gonna bring in to cover Paulie Malignaggi. Teofimo Lopez needs to take the fight with Lomo. If they offer you that money, take the money, and that's it, man. That's all I gotta say right now. I appreciate all you guys in the chat, man. All of you guys. I haven't been here for a minute, but I'm looking to be more busier. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got the Clipper game coming up with the Los Angeles Lakers. I got the BT Sports thing tomorrow, and we're gonna keep it boxing, man. So appreciate everyone in the chat. Y'all stay blessed. I'm EJ Boxing Live, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.